in that lane.
I'm actually liking this case.
Now their conflict is at a crossroads.
He's 100% at fault when he hit my car.
Well, they only sent her 50%. She wants the whole thing. What do you think?
This is Judge Judy. Meredith Less is suing fellow motorist William Frankie for an accident on the road.
Judge, this is case number 42 on the calendar in the matter of Less versus Frankie. Parties are sworn in.
Miss Less, you had a car accident with the defendant over a year ago.
Correct.
You claimed that the accident was his fault. You did nothing about it for a year. Now you say that we have COVID, you had enough time to have your car fixed, so now you're pursuing a claim against him.
Correct.
That's where we're at. You were driving a 2009 Lincoln, and I assume you had liability insurance, but not collision.
Correct.
With whom were you insured?
Geico?
Do you still have the car?
Yes, I do.
And Mr. Frankie, what kind of a car were you driving on August 24th of 2019?
A Toyota Prius.
What year?
2012.
And did you have liability and or collision on the car?
Yes, I had full coverage.
Full?
Yeah.
With what company?
Kemper?
From my information, with Miss Less, did you give her your insurance card and your registration and your license?
Yeah. I don't remember about the license and registration, but I definitely gave her my insurance.
You had never met Mr. Frankie before, is that right?
That's correct.
So if you had an accident that you allege was his fault and you decided not to call the police to the accident, I assume you were satisfied that you had sufficient contact information for him.
Correct. We exchanged all information.
So you had his insurance card.
Correct.
When did you notify his insurance company?
I contacted my insurance that day, and they started the process. And then I got in touch with Kemper within a few days, and they had me go through their process.
And what happened?
I submitted all the photos and information through the app they told me to download, and then that was it. And then I think within a month I got information regarding what the estimate for repairs would be.
Okay, did you get a check from his insurance company?
In July of this year, but I haven't done anything with it because...
What was the check that you got from Kemper Insurance?
It was 50% of the estimated repair costs.
Would you please tell me what was...
$115.43.
And when you accepted the check, you signed a document that said that that was in full satisfaction of your claim.
No, I did not.
You had to, otherwise they're not going to send you a check.
Well, what happened was I took the car to a mechanic, and they called the insurance, and we're speaking with them, and they said they would send over a check. And then when I got the check, I called because it was for half the amount when they said they were going to pay 100% of the estimated repair cost.
Did you cash the check?
No. I have the check physically with me.
It?
Yes.
Great. Take it out. Great. Okay, very good. I'm actually liking this case. So you have an estimate.
I do.
To fix your car.
Through Kemper,
I'd like
yes.
to take a look at it because, Mr. Frankie, if your insurance company sent her a check, they found that you were at fault. Your insurance company found you were at fault. You understand that?
Correct. 50%. From my understanding.
Well, they only sent her 50%. Your understanding from what she says is she got 50%. Your insurance company found you were sufficiently at fault to send her a check.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to tell me about the accident in a second. Would you just put up on my evidence screen?
I already did.
1430. Okay. Great. Now would you show me the damage to the car?
I have two photos. Here's the first one. It's the right passenger side above the wheel fender area.
Mm-hmm. Now, you have a check, so the estimate is for $1,430.
Correct.
To fix it. You got a check for them for $715. Can you tell me why you're suing him for $1,430?
Well, I'm suing him for the full amount because he's 100% at fault when he hit my car.
Yeah, but you already have a check for half.
Okay, so when I spoke with my insurance adjuster, he said you either accept the check they sent or you take Mr. Williams to court. So I haven't done anything with the check. I'm not going to because I'm here today.
Okay, so you have that check.
Correct.
You have that check. Take it back and put it on your desk. Now, who was making a left turn? Were you both preparing to make a left turn?
No.
I was preparing to make a left turn.
Okay. And was Miss Les in front or behind you?
She came from behind me.
All right. Miss Les, you're driving down. You're driving in the same direction. You're in the left lane. He's in the left lane. He was looking to make a left turn?
So I was in the middle lane on the street. He was somewhat behind me, like we weren't head-to-head on that. So when I kept going and then he decided to turn, he hit the front passenger side of my car. I was going straight.
You were going straight, and he says you were making a left turn?
I was getting into the turn lane to make a left turn.
But she was in the middle.
Yeah,
You were on her right.
I was on her right, correct.
I'm trying to visualize
I have
this.
some pictures.
She's in the middle lane. You're on the right lane.
Correct.
I'd like to see them.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, great. Oh, that's better.
I'm the blue car.
I'm not following. You're both going in which
So-
direction? Point to the direction that you're
we're
going. I
going-
see where her car is.
We're going this way.
In that direction.
Correct.
And
I had just
she
come...
is the orange.
Correct. So I just come from
Right.
this direction on a street, and I took a left turn onto La Brea here. So I took a left turn.
Okay.
And I intended to go
Right.
up here to take another left down here. And this,
Okay,
so
but
I wanted to get...
but she's in your space.
So, yes, I think she was... I assumed she was also intending to take a left turn on to Romaine from La Brea here. That's what I assumed, because I was trying to get into this turn lane here. And there's
Right, but she was...
her in this lane. I thought that you had to... I think she came from here into this turn lane, and I was going into this
You mean
turn
into the-
lane. I was going into this turn lane to get here.
I see that.
I hit her here because I'm assuming she was going to go straight through to take a left turn also.
She was going straight.
Correct.
No, she
But
said she
that's
was
what
going
said,
straight. You
yeah.
were not making a left turn.
No, I wasn't even in
Is that
that
right?
lane.
She was in this turn lane.
I
So
was in the
Well,
middle
you
lane.
want to show me where you were?
Sure, I would love
You
to.
want to show me where you were?
And I wouldn't be making a turn because I know I was heading to Los Feliz, where I'd be making a right onto Sunset. So
Okay.
there I am in the middle lane, going northbound.
And you're going straight.
Correct.
And he's all the way on your right.
Correct.
And he wanted to get over to make a left turn.
Correct.
I got it. Did you have any damage to your car, sir?
the damage was very minimal. I have a picture of
Okay.
my mirror, but it was very minimal. Do you want to see the picture?
Well, is the mirror what hit her car?
That's what I thought hit her car. I'm not sure. I think when I have pictures of her car and I see that her mirror, it looked like I hit her mirror and possibly her fender. I saw the damage.
Okay. Mr. Frankie, you know, it's an accident. It's not an on purpose. It's an accident. Somebody's usually responsible for an accident. Sometimes it's both people's fault, but usually it's one person's fault. That looks to me, what I saw, that this accident was your fault. You were in the right lane trying to get over to the left lane, and you hit her car. Didn't cause a lot of damage to yours. It's an accident, right? You had insurance. Your insurance company copped out. Her damage was $1,400. They paid her $7,000. She wants the whole thing. What do you think?
I know that I was intending to go into, I'd already went this direction, the opposite direction, past Romaine to go to Willoughby, which is further down, if you want to look right here on the chart. So Romaine is up here. Willoughby is down here. There's a parking structure for Target off of Romaine over here that I intended to go to. And you can only get there from going to Romaine. You can't get there from the other direction. So I went down, made a U-turn on Willoughby, came back.
I understand. I understand exactly what you're saying to me, sir, but you
Okay,
were in
can I
the
show
right
you-
lane going to the left lane,
Can I show you another picture then?
and you hit her. She
Yes.
didn't hit you.
Judge Judy.
Driving
what
in
you-
the parking area.
Sometimes you can in California because if there's no parking between certain times and certain times.
Oh, this is
there
true. You're right.
And later today,
What special thing about this pontoon boat motivated you to spend 3 times as much as you could have for cash?
Meredith Less says fellow motorist William Frankie merged into her lane and ran into her car.
Now, she didn't hit you. You hit her.
But there's a flaw in the other picture that she showed.
Okay, I'd like to see it.
So if you would bring up that picture that she showed, you can see, but I don't have her picture. But I do have this Google map right here, whichever
I'm
you'd like to
terrible
look
at those
at.
things.
This right here,
Well,
you
let
can
me see the Google map. They confuse me usually.
So right here, I can turn
Okay.
it so it's the same as the chart.
Okay, better.
Okay, so here's Romaine. We're going up here. This is the turn lane. You can see the arrow right there.
No, I understand that. Where was your car?
So do you see that?
Was your car
do
in
you
the
see
right lane?
The parking spots right here, where you can park
Yes.
the car. So
Yes.
I was
Were there
not.
cars parked
I
there?
parked there. I pulled off the road and parked there.
For what?
From after I got hit here, I pulled right over here, and I have a picture showing where my car was parked right after that.
Well, you didn't get hit because your car hit her.
Yeah, so I parked right there. I was trying to
Right.
get into this turn lane, and
Well,
I don't think
I-
anybody's
it's
driving
what
in
you-
this parking area, was what I'm saying. There's two other lanes here.
Well, sometimes you can in California because if there's no parking between certain times and certain times,
this is
there
true. You're right.
Streets. There are streets where you're not allowed to park at all during certain times, and there's free-flowing traffic there.
Actually,
so my
you're
question
right. Yes,
is,
and it was at 7 o'clock, which is a rush hour.
so that would have been no parking in that area, as it is on Wilshire, for instance. You're not allowed to park after 4 o'clock on Wilshire in the park lane.
This is correct.
Mr. Frankie, I think that you owe the plaintiff $715, and then she's got the check from your insurance company. Now you're whole. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $715. We're done.
Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
She makes the final call.
She looked to the evidence and saw the truth in what transpired that day.
I came in here just trusting that justice would prevail.
Dealing with the GPS.
Accidents happen.
Trying to get the car fixed.
All parties in the matter of Vasugi versus Hill, step to the podium, please.
Hamid and Susan Vasugi are suing William Hill for the cost of a pontoon boat, a boat motor, and registration fees.
Mr. and Mrs. Versugi, you purchased what you call a party boat.
Yes.
From the defendant, spent a lot of money not only for the boat, but for parts for it, for furniture for it, and now claim that you can't register it because of certain problems with the defendant's registration, and that you ordered a motor for the boat from him, gave him money for the motor for the boat, which he has not put in to the boat.
Yes.
You're suing for $5,000. I have a couple of questions. Do you have a photograph of this boat that you purchased from the defendant?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to take a look at it. Are those pontoons on either side?
Yes.
So it's a pontoon boat.
Yes.
And this pontoon boat is 30 years old, according to your complaint.
Yes, it's a 1989.
And how much do you claim that you paid the defendant for it?
$6,500 cash and $547 DMV fees.
You paid him, according to you, $6,500 Vasugi. Before we go any further is, why would you pay him $6,500 in cash if you're a functional illiterate on the internet, as I am, and you can go on the internet and you can buy a 1989 pontoon boat for anywhere from $2,500 to $5,500? And I have owned a pontoon boat. So I would like you to tell me what special thing about this pontoon boat motivated you to spend 3 times as much as you could have for cash than you could have any place else where I'm looking on the internet.
The body of the boat
Explain it to me.
is in good condition, the pontoons and the body.
Yes.
We were going to replace all the furniture, and we wanted to fix the current motor, but we changed our mind. We thought it was a good value. We
You
we
did?
have some boating experience.
Just a second. You know, Mrs. Vasugi, I'm not buying that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So far you've spent $16,000 on a boat with no proof that the money went to him when you could have bought a 31-year-old boat for $5,000.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Hamid and Susan Vasugi claimed with no title or registration.
Okay. Now, after you paid him allegedly $6,500 for the boat, you invested a whole lot of other money in it. Tell me what other money you invested in the boat, because I need that for my record.
Sure. We bought some furniture for the boat. This is patio furniture.
I have that here. And how much did you pay? Just a second. And how much did you pay for the furniture?
About, it was $3,260.
So far, you're up to almost $10,000
Yes.
for this
And we ordered
30-year-old boat.
A bimini top.
What kind of work do you and your husband do?
We're retired. We sold a car.
I'd like you to show me.
For the money to do this.
To whom?
To an
To
individual
whom?
who paid us cash. I have the bill of receipt.
Does it have his name on it and his phone number?
It has his name.
Well, get me his name and his phone number. I'd like to know exactly how much this person paid you for your boat.
For our
It
vehicle.
says
No,
he-
this was
for
for
your
our
car. He
vehicle.
says he paid you. Just a second. It says he paid Mr. Klein, who I could call. I'm sure you have his number because there's an address there.
Yes, we do. We do.
It says he paid $8,000 in May of 2020. Well, the date has changed on that bill of sale to it was something else.
And I have his phone number if you'd like to call him. But we sold him a 2008 Mercedes-Benz E350. He gave us $8,000 in cash, and that's what we used to purchase the boat.
That's not what you say in your complaint, madam.
Well, we
You
considered
said you
selling
decided to sell. No. In your complaint, you say, we decided to sell our speedboat and buy a patio boat to cruise around. So far, you've spent $10,000
We didn't
on a
sell the
boat that you could
speedboat.
buy.
We still have it.
No, so far, just a second. So far, Ms. Vasugi, you've spent $10,000, and that's before the motor that you said you
Yes.
bought from him. You spent $10,000 on new furniture, $6,500 for a boat that you could have bought for $3,500. So we're up to almost $10,000, and then you decided to invest in a motor. And how much money did you give him for the motor?
$6,100.
And do you have a check for that cleared?
Yes.
And I'd like to see.
It's not actually a check. We took cash from the bank for $6,000, and then we had $1,000 out of our pocket.
Miss
Or
Miss
100 out of
Vasugi,
our pocket.
Miss Vasugi, so far you've spent $16,000 on a boat with no proof that the money went to him when you could have bought a 31-year-old boat.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
All right, so I'm going to tell you this, Miss Vasugi. I may be a skeptic, but I'm dismissing your case without prejudice. You go back to your local small claims court, and if they buy your evidence, good for you. I don't.
I mean,
do you understand?
I don't
Do you
understand because I have proof of everything I spent.
He
gave me stickers that don't even belong to my boat.
What I'm telling you is neither you nor your husband look like foolish people. I don't believe in your cash transactions that amount to over $10,000.
But they do cost that much, Your Honor.
Just a second. They may, and someone may believe you. I don't. You're no worse for your arrival here. You go back to your local small claims court and convince a judge, just like me. So I'm dismissing your case without prejudice because I don't buy it. Got it?
Okay.
Hope you have it.
Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
The boat was worth that much money.
I was happy.
We were given invalid stickers and an invalid license plate.
I have all the titles.
I guess we'll take it back to court.
I'd like it to be done.
A tenant left no physical damage,
Why didn't you return her security?
but
She tried to start fights regularly.
will the landlord ever recover?
She called the police 7 times on me, terrorizing me. I'm scared. I'm shaking. I need therapy after dealing with this female. I didn't do anything
It's time
wrong.
to stop. It's time to stop.
Whatever you say, Judge Judy.
This is Judge Judy. 23-year-old Sarah Rolak is suing her former landlord, Anna Belacqua, for the return of rent and security deposit, an illegal eviction, and assault.
Judge, this is case number 91 on the calendar in the matter of Rolak versus Balakwa. Parties have been sworn in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Rolak, you rented a room from the defendant over a year ago.
Correct.
And you moved out of that room because of what you allege was harassment, whatever. But that was over a year ago.
Correct.
And your lawsuit has several components. One is some rent return. One is for your security deposit. A lot of it has to do with the claim the other is responsible for, which I assume that you've gone on leading your life, Ms. Rolak?
Correct.
I assume you've gone on leading your life for the last year and a half, other than the pandemic,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you found another place to live?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're happy at the other place to live?
Yes.
And you are not engaged in serious therapy after you left her house?
No.
No. So let's deal with the easy bread and butter part of your lawsuit, which is the return of your security deposit. Okay?
Okay.
Great. You moved into the room when?
April of 2019.
And how much was the rent?
Rent was originally $1,190, and then after the first month, since the Wi-Fi did not work, she allowed me to...
Don't go. But listen to me. Don't want to hear about the Wi-Fi not working. Not important with regard to your security deposit.
Right.
Did the rent ever change from $1,119?
Yes, it did.
No,
It did.
190.
Don't speak until I speak to you. You understand each other?
Yes. Yes,
Perfect.
Your Honor.
Perfect. Did it remain $1,119?
No, it did not.
When did it change?
That first month in April, after the first 2 weeks, I let Anna know that the Wi-Fi wasn't working,
Okay.
which is why it went to $1,160. 60. Yes.
60.
Yes.
Did you pay April's rent?
Yes.
Did you pay May's rent?
Yes.
Did you pay June's rent?
Yes.
Did you pay July's rent?
Yes.
Did you pay August's rent?
Yes.
You moved out on August 21st,
Correct.
according to your papers. Now I'm talking to you. Did Miss Rolak pay her rent in April?
She paid 1190, so yes.
Did she pay rent in May?
She did, however, she was $30 short on
She paid
each following month.
$1,160.
Correct. That's
Just a sec.
$30 short of the amount she agreed to pay at move-in.
Look at my direction. You accepted her rent in May of $1,160. Did you accept that rent? That's either a yes or a no.
Yes.
Did you pay by check or cash?
I paid via Venmo app.
I have the receipt.
Venmo.
Yeah, it's
Good.
like cash.
So you accepted it. You didn't return it to her. That's a yes.
Yes.
In June, did you accept her rent of $1,160?
Yes.
In July, did you accept her rent?
Yes.
In August, did you accept her rent?
Yes.
Yes. It was partially
For how long?
typed out. I'd have to double check on the dates for the lease agreement, but I know I did end it early due to what was happening.
Do you have a copy of the lease easily accessible?
Yes.
May I see it, please? Okay, very good. 4 to 6 months. All right, nobody signs a lease from 4 to 6 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She was there for the 5 months anyway. Okay, that's it. I don't have to see any more. Very good. Now, did you pay a security deposit?
I gave her cash, yes.
I don't have any proof of that.
I didn't ask you whether he had proof, and you interrupted again.
Excuse me.
Did you give her security
I
deposit?
gave her $800 cash for the security deposit.
When?
I think it was like March 28th. It was a few days before I moved in. We sat down and I gave her the cash for the lease.
But the rent you paid by this app.
Correct, yes.
Tell me why.
It was just easier for me because I got, the weekly checks and I don't like to carry cash around with me. It seems kind of silly, but I just rather pay via Venmo.
Okay. When you moved in April, did you pay her first and last month's rent or just first month's rent and security?
Just the first month in security.
Now, let's be very careful in your response to me. Understand?
Yes.
Is what you're telling me that
I'm saying I don't have a receipt for it. I don't have any
okay.
record that it was received.
Well, just a second. Well, memory and a receipt are two different things. If you have no receipt, that's one thing. If you don't have a memory of it, then I have to rely on her memory of it.
I would let no one move in without paying deposit.
So it's fair to say that she paid security.
Assumedly so, yes.
Yes, of course. Okay, now, So now we have you paying your rent, the rent being accepted for a 5-month period. You moved out, you had an altercation with her, which you will maybe tell me, maybe not. I would like you, because now the ball is in your court, for you to show me any damage that she caused that ate up her security, which clearly you didn't give back to her.
Your Honor, the damages of the room were minimal. I just had to clean it and replace the shades, etc. Like, the place looked fine.
So that there were no damages. So then why didn't you return her security?
Because she tried to engage myself and the other person who lived there into altercation. She tried to start fights regularly. And also the French girl who lived there, unpleasant person. She made the environment negative. As a result, after 4 months, I asked her to leave. I gave her a 30-day notice. The day after I gave her the notice, she attempted to engage me in the altercation by shouting insults at me and then putting her phone 6 inches from my face and filming it. And then in the process, so she used that and accused me of hitting her when in fact she had thrown her phone to the ground. After that, she called the police 7 times on me to my house, terrorizing me in my home. As a result, I have post-traumatic stress. I'm scared. I'm shaking. I need therapy after dealing with this female. I'm
going to stop you right there.
And Your Honor,
I
did return $264. After she lost her job, she continued using her time to call my landlords, terrorize the city, complain about the house, get fees accrued for the house. She tried to get me in trouble with the police on multiple occasions. I didn't do anything
it's time
wrong.
To stop. It's time to stop.
Okay.
Did she return $264? She returned $264 of the security to you.
Correct. Yes.
Which means that there is still due and owing on the security $536.
Correct.
However, ROLAC is responsible for damages to myself regarding city fees.
No, she is not.
Okay.
No, she's not.
Whatever you say, Judge Judy.
Yeah, she's not. Ms. Balakwa, I think that you are under certain stressors, as we all are. It's a very stressful time in the country and the world. I don't want to exacerbate your stress.
Thank you.
So I don't think that it's necessary for me to go in much further to ensure that you get the remainder of your security deposit back, which is $536.
What about terrorizing me, calling the police on me? 7 times in my home, having them bang on my doors and windows. That's what she did to me. She's a Karen.
What I'm going to tell you is, in order to go into what you allege is how she terrorized you, certainly later on, because you accepted her rent, April, May, June, July.
It was after the fact.
You accepted her rent. Just a second. You
Correct.
accepted her rent. You didn't move to evict her. I think it's in your best interest to not go stress. You're in therapy. You have issues.
Excuse me, Judge Judy. I did not say I was in therapy and that I have issues, okay? This girl terrorized me in my home, and so I asked for damages. So please don't tell me I have issues, okay?
Well, just a second. You told me you have issues as a result of it.
No, I'm telling you that she harassed and terrorized me in my home.
Okay. That's why you asked her to leave. And she
Correct.
left. And you have to return her security deposit, $536. And if, as a result of this, that happened 1.5 years ago, what you're telling me is that you have no after effect of that.
That's false. In fact, for the past year and a half, she has
if you do, then I'm telling you
legal pursuits, Your Honor. This is terrorism.
Just a second.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today.
How long have you and the defendant been an item?
How long have me and him been a who?
How long have you and the defendant? She would be the defendant.
Sarah Rolak claims former landlord Anna Belacqua owes for the return of rent and security deposit, an illegal eviction, and an assault on it, and a false restraining order.
When was the last time the plaintiff filed a case against you other than this case?
There
Give
were
me the month and
multiple
year.
attempted restraining orders.
You have to, Miss Bellavacqua, you have to answer my question. I said, other than this case, when was the last time the plaintiff filed a legal proceeding against you, month and year?
I think it's April of 2020. It's all the same case,
Was
Judge
that-
Judy. It's this case.
Is it for the return of her security?
Yes.
Well, then that's what she's getting. Judgment for the plaintiff, $536. The case is over. Thank you. We're finished.
Judge
Parties
Judy.
are, this case is concluded. Parties are excused.
She is evil. She tried to engage me in fights.
Because she assaulted me.
And she called the police on me 7 times like a freaking Karen.
I was using the washer and dryer, which she claimed wasn't included. And
In retaliation for me asking her to move.
she came over and I did start recording her, and then she hit me and knocked the phone out of my hand.
You know, a lot of people, when they're rejected, they act viciously, and she is that person.
I did get a temporary restraining order, and I moved out.
She is a vicious Karen with no soul.
And now,
Cell, step forward.
19-year-old Tyler Hunter is suing his former landlord-to-be, LaTownsend Cassell, for the return of rent and for damage to his property.
Miss Cassell, you were renting a room in your house. The plaintiff came, looked at the room. You both agreed he gave you a deposit. That didn't work out. He wants his deposit back. That's what the case is about. So I have a couple of questions for you. I want you to tell me what kind of premises you live in.
I live in a 2-bedroom townhome.
Do you own or rent?
I'm renting.
How long have you rented there?
Been about 3 months now.
When you rented the apartment from the landlord, did you have a signed lease?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a copy of your lease?
I do not.
Why not?
I just didn't think to bring it.
When you rented the apartment and you signed the lease, did you sign the lease alone?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you advise the landlord that you would be living there alone?
Yes, ma'am.
So your lease precludes you from subletting rooms in the apartment?
I didn't read
Yes.
it, but yes, ma'am.
It does.
Yes. Okay.
Because most leases, when you have a lease, says that you will be the only occupant of the apartment if you're going to be in the apartment by yourself, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And despite that, how did you advertise to rent this room?
On Craigslist.
So you knew you were breaching your lease when you did that. Now, when you advertised on Craigslist, the plaintiff came to look at the room.
Yes.
Was in the room. I want you to tell me the name of the person who was in the room.
Excuse me?
When he saw the room, there was someone else in the room. Who were you?
A boyfriend.
Was he in the room?
No.
Let's start out with, who was in the apartment other than yourself?
My boyfriend's brother.
What was he doing there?
Spending a week or two.
How much money did he give you?
Nothing.
How much money did you give her?
I gave her $300 for the deposit and $360 for the first month's rent.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about Tyler? Yeah, he gave me $300. He didn't give
He
me
gave you
$360.
$300 deposit and $360.
No, $300 for the deposit. He didn't give me $360.
I did give her $360.
Show me.
I have a signed agreement right here.
Stand up. I have questions for you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You gave her the deposit on when?
April 21st.
Well, why would you show me something where you withdrew $350 on April 10th?
Well,
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tyler Hunter says former landlord-to-be, LaTownsend Cassell, owes for the return of...
Tell me your last name, please.
Greer,
How old are you?
26.
What do you do?
A distributor at Target.
How long have you and the defendant been an item?
How long have me and him been a who?
How long have you and the defendant? She would be the defendant.
How long I been with her?
Yes.
Oh, for like going on 2 years now.
Who do you live with?
I live in Commerce, but I come back and forth to go to her house.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you're not on the lease either, right?
No, ma'am.
Sit. Show me that you gave her $660.
well, this was the signed agreement with her signature where she agreed that I would give her the deposit of $300 and I'll pay $360 per month.
He didn't pay it.
She agrees you gave her $300, but not the $360.
Exactly.
I want to see where you gave her
Okay.
$360.
Well, I also have bank statements showing where I withdrew money to give to her.
Just a second. I'm going to see everything he has. Because so far, despite the fact that it has not helped her at all, she's giving me pretty legitimate answers. All I want you to show me is your bank statement, and you got no receipt from her, I assume.
No, I have the signed agreement.
Which I signed when he gave me no 360. And that's why he's not a resident there.
He's not a resident there because you can't have a resident there other than yourself.
Okay.
And you have him. He's a resident. And the landlord should be watching very carefully. Are you still living there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you're breaching the lease. Got a whole bunch of people parading in and out of that premises.
Your Honor, she was actually there when I gave her the 360.
When you brought your stuff, it didn't have 360.
Listen to me. Don't speak.
Okay.
Well, you have a withdrawal. You saw the apartment on what date?
The exact date, I'm not sure of.
Well, think about it carefully.
Okay.
On what date did he see the apartment? Do you remember?
Approximately April 29th, I think. Somewhere around that time. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure.
I gave her my deposit on the 21st.
Well, 21st.
So it would have had to been a little
You
before
gave
that.
her the deposit on when?
The April 21st.
Well, why would you show me something where you withdrew $350 on April 10th?
Well, I mean, I was...
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What else do you want?
The money for my mattress, which was ruined because Tylen set it outside.
Oh, good.
Closed captioning sponsored by. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
All right. Now, $300 you get back. What else do you want?
I want my deposit back. I want my
What
money
else
back,
do you want?
And the money for my mattress, which was ruined because Tylen set it outside.
Oh, good. You want to speak? I'm dying to hear it. Let's go.
First of all...
Just a second. Did you put out his mattress?
Yes.
On
yes.
what date did you put out his mattress?
I don't know, ma'am. I seriously don't. But I didn't put his mattress out. He called me on the phone and asked me, because she wasn't there, he asked me to help him to get his stuff. He wanted his stuff out since he didn't move. He wasn't even strong enough to get it, so I helped him get it out. I helped him get his refrigerator out and his mattress. It never got ruined, because as soon as I took it out the house, it went onto the back of the truck.
Believe you. Sit down.
Exactly.
Believe you. You
threw it
get
in
back
the
your
grass.
$300. Bye. That's all.
No, he-
Thank
Done.
you. Thank
Miss,
you.
she threw it in the grass.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge Judy.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
What are you charging her $3,000 for?
She didn't pay every single month.
Because we had COVID. You get where I'm going?
Judge Judy.
They never showed up on time, consistently lied.
How can I show up? I was at work and I told him that I was at work.
They never returned my calls. They told me dates that weren't true.
That once I get off of work that I will go. Something came up, I left.
They never let me move in that day.
He goes to my house with his uncle, starting a riot. I don't have time for that. I gotta go.
I saw him pay her both the deposit and the rent.
That's a lie.
And we never got both back.
Everything he said was a lie.
Just find more trustworthy people, I guess.
Never again. Just never again.
How did you find each other?
It was through a dating app.
I guarantee you, he thinks he's God's gift.
Charmed out of her money?
He gave him a credit card. He thinks he's adorable. He probably has done this sort of thing before.
But the judge doesn't like what she sees.
Then you gave him another card. I know he thinks he's an attractive guy, but you know, you're a smart lady. That's not smart.
My bad.
This is suing Manny Baker for unauthorized credit card charges and the return of property.
Judges, case number 107 on the calendar in the matter of Bossard versus Baker. Parties have been sworn in.
Thank you, Bird. Mr. Baker, I'm going to start with you, sir.
Yes.
You met the plaintiff online, is that right?
Correct.
How?
Through a series of messages, we messaged each other. I was working in her neck of the woods.
Well, how did you message each other? How did you find each other? That had to be a site
it was through a dating app.
What app?
Plenty of Fish.
And in what month did you first connect on this dating app?
I think it was March 2020.
And how far away did you live from each other?
I'm about 300 miles.
When, for the first time, did you meet in person?
I don't have the exact date, but it was late March, probably March 20th-ish.
Did you go to where she resided, or did she come to where you resided?
Actually, she was a hairstylist, and during COVID, haircuts were illegal, and my haircut was getting quite long, and she said, I'd give you a cut if you wanted to come over to my salon. So I went to her salon, and
well, that's 300 miles, sir.
oh no, I was working.
Asking you.
Mm-hmm. I was working in the area. At that time, I was selling walk-through bathtubs, sales, in-home sales.
Well, you were now 300 miles away from your home. Where were you staying?
I stayed. There was an Airbnb in Spokane that was probably 20 minutes from Post Falls, where Julie lived, where the hair salon was.
How long did you stay at this Airbnb?
February 1st to, I used it. I still use it. I still go there. I've been using it. The first time I went there was February 1st of 2020.
So that you use it for what purpose? For selling walk-through bathtubs?
Yeah, I have certain appointments that I have to be on throughout the state of Washington, Idaho, and Oregon.
For selling
Yes, ma'am.
Through bathtubs?
Yes, ma'am.
So you work for a company?
Yep, in-home sales.
What's the name of the company?
Safe Step.
Are you a salaried or a commissioned employee?
Commission only.
How long have you been with them?
I started January 1st, did training. Actually, might have even been right at January 1st. I think I was out of training around January 11th.
What were you doing before that?
I'm a general contractor by trade, and definitely preferred the in-home sales side of it. When I get into someone's home, it's just second nature to me. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Then
You were in general contracting. Did you work for somebody else, or did you do that yourself?
mostly self-employed since right out of high school.
How old are you?
49.
Well, you're a grown-up, sir. You're almost a half a century old. So
feel
you
like
were
it.
doing, until January of this year, you were doing what?
We would do...
Until you got this training job with walk-through bathtubs,
Right.
you were doing what to support yourself?
We were doing large remodels,
Were you ever...
bathrooms.
Who was we?
Me and a team of guys that I've known for the last 20, 30 years. Some new ones, some old ones.
Have you ever been married?
I was.
Do you have children?
2 boys,
How old?
25 and 23.
Did you live with them when they were growing up?
I would never be apart from them. They were my everything.
That's not my question. I said, did you live with them
I
when
did.
they were growing
Yep.
up? Is your former wife the mother of those children?
Yes.
And when were you divorced?
It was legal in 2011.
Well, you say it was legal. That means that you were separated prior to 2011.
Correct. It started in 2009, but we had a $5.5 million bankruptcy that we had to file, and that took a few years to get accomplished.
2009 until 2011.
2010 is when I moved from the home.
Did the boys stay in the home?
They did.
So that one boy was 13 and one boy was 15.
Correct.
And they lived with their mother.
Right.
Okay. Now, what kind of business were you in that involved, I assume, personal $5 million bankruptcy?
We were a developer and general contractor. We had 70 lots, 18.
Who's we?
Me and my wife.
And were you relieved of debt in the bankruptcy filing?
It was a Chapter 13, yes. There was still some debt that I felt that I still owe even after the bankruptcy.
What did you use the plaintiff's credit card for? She gave you, shortly after you met, a credit card that had a zero balance.
Right.
What did you use it for? Because you were the sole person who used it.
Correct.
What did you use it for?
We used it for a few supplies, and Julie did give me one card. Then she took that card back to do another card that had a $10,000 balance on it. And so I paid off the first card that she had given me. She paid it. I paid her to pay it.
What did you put on that card?
We bought supplies.
For what?
For a job.
For what?
That we currently had going on in city of Newport, Washington. There was a small amount of supplies.
Shh. You mean you and the plaintiff?
No, that was just me.
So you bought supplies for your own business.
Correct.
For your own business.
Right.
Not walk through bathtubs on commission. You were doing a side job, something else, with your own business having nothing to do with her, and you used her credit card for some supplies. How much? How much?
The supplies may have totaled $1,500 to $1,800.
Did you pay it off that card?
I did pay off that card.
Did he pay off that card?
I made a decision to take money he gave me to pay off that card, along with other money he gave me to put towards the other card.
Okay, so he gave you money and you paid off that card.
Correct.
Then you gave him another card. In what month?
Well, it was the
What month?
It was the same month. My bad.
Well, so tell me what month.
May.
So you met in March, the end of March, and by May, when you met, according to you, you said wasn't a romantic thing for either one or both of you. I'm not so sure about you, but I could tell you for sure about him. It wasn't a romantic. What work do you do, by the way?
I am a salon owner, and I still work behind the chair.
So you work hard for your money?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
assume.
I've had my business for 20 years.
Now, I know he thinks he's an attractive guy, but, you know, you're a smart lady. If you're a business owner for 20 years, you're a smart lady. You meet a guy the end of March, and by May, you're giving him a credit card. That's not smart.
Well, there were prior things that happened to me giving him the card. I was under the impression that we were going into the sewer business together. And as a part of doing business, supplies...
Why in the world would you want to go into the sewer business together with somebody that you met online, that came for a haircut, and a couple of weeks later said, I need a credit card because I'll go into business with you. Right now, I just finished my training in walk-through bathtub sales. I've been through a bankruptcy, a $5 million bankruptcy with my ex-wife who had a business. Why would a smart lady who's run a business for 20 years give a credit card to anybody? You know that I have children who I love. I have grandchildren that I love more than life. I will give them anything they want except a credit card of mine. Of $5, tell me what it's for, it's yours. You need more, tell me what it's for, it's yours. If it's reasonable, I wouldn't give somebody a credit card. You give some stranger who you know nothing about, and you're a business gal, and a hardworking business guy. I don't understand it. So you're going to have to explain it to me, because according to you, you gave him a credit card. You know, he thinks he's adorable. He probably has done this sort of thing before. I assume he has over the last 10 years or even more when he was married. I'm not exactly sure about that, but I guarantee you, he thinks he's God's gift. Has that air, because no guy that didn't think that about himself would ask somebody and use their credit card and then stiff them, which is what you did. Which is what you did.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Did you pay off everything that you bought and still own?
Technically, no.
What does technically mean?
I literally made payments, and I've spent $5,500.
Who cares what you spent?
And later today.
How do you support yourself?
Right now, I'm not.
What does that mean? Right now?
I'm under a lot of stress right now. I'm trying to
Me too.
regroup.
I'm getting more stressed by the minute.
For unauthorized credit card charges and the return of property.
Now, you used her credit card, and then you stiffed her. That's what you say.
Not true.
So in order to do that, you really have to... Really? Not? Did you use her credit card and buy equipment?
Oh, I made payments.
Did you buy equipment?
I did, and I made payments.
Did you pay off... Just a second. Did you pay off everything that you bought and still own and still have possession of? Very easy question. Did you pay off everything that was purchased that you still have possession of?
Technically, no.
What does technically mean?
Well, I literally made payments, and I've spent $5,500 on replacing the tractor.
Who cares what you spent? I don't care about a tractor trailer. She bought a tractor trailer. You weren't in business with her. She got annoyed that you hadn't paid the credit card. She took back the tractor trailer that was in her name. So I don't care.
Okay.
You used the tractor trailer while you had it. Who cares? What I'm asking you, sir, is do you have equipment in your possession that was purchased on her credit card?
I do.
That you didn't pay for?
I do.
You do?
Yep.
She's going to get it all back. I'm going to sign an order for a marshal to come and get the following equipment. Read it out.
The following
equipment of a marshal.
It
Go.
is a jetter and a sewer camera.
How much was it just for my jetter and sewer camera?
The Seattle pump was $2108.25, and the camera was $3423.80.
Well, that's $5,000 worth of stuff, $5,600 worth of stuff.
Correct.
Great. Where is it located?
City of Sumner.
What facility?
My home base. My home.
What facility? It has a name.
Well, we call
Apex
it.
Storage.
It's my
What is
primary residence. Do you want the address?
Is this equipment at your residence? I have
is.
to give the marshal a location to pick it up.
1 Valley Avenue East.
Is that where he lives?
Yes, ma'am.
You'll have a marshal's order. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you very much. We're done. Bye.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
There was an agreement that we had made.
I put my trust into somebody that had no intention of protecting me at all whatsoever.
She simply bowed out of the agreement and left me kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
So his focus was on anything but our business.
This is icing on the cake for her.
He never continued on with the business to pursue it.
I see her point of view.
He was on to pole barns. He was wanting me to give him $20,000 in a wedding venue.
We certainly had a lot of conversations.
I get up every day and I work really hard for my money.
She is a hard worker. She's done well for herself, and wish her nothing but the best.
Oh, I'm just going to keep on. This is 1 out of 4 with him.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Labrie versus Taub, step forward.
Sandra Nicole Labrie is suing her former roommate, Jonathan Taub, for the return of her property, motel bills, and punitive damages due to a false arrest.
Miss Labrie, what kind of work do you do?
I'm in.
It's not in it. Don't look down here. Look right here. What
I'm
kind
an
of work
artist,
do you do?
Entertainment, music, and
You're
I do
an
side
artist in
catering.
entertainment and music.
Yes, and I.
Where do you work?
I do side catering.
You do side catering. What does that mean?
Side catering means like if a person need me to cook them anything, I can prepare a dish for them.
How do you support yourself?
Right now, I'm not.
What does that
under
mean?
a lot of
Right now,
stress. I'm under a lot of stress right now. I'm trying to
Me too.
regroup.
I'm getting more stressed by the minute.
I'm trying to regroup my life.
Great.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
That night, when the police came, she said, while you're at work, I'm having sex. I'm not going to pay you a dime. Ha ha.
How did you know her?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sandra Nicole Labrie says former roommate Jonathan Taub won't return her property. She is also suing for motel bills and a false arrest.
I want to know how you support yourself.
Friends.
Friends.
Family and friends.
Family and friends.
Okay.
And where do you live? In what jurisdiction do you live?
Right now, I'm living in Century City.
Century City?
Yes.
That's pretty expensive territory.
In a motel.
You must have nice friends.
Well, I had savings.
What kind of work do you do, Mr. Taub?
Swimming pool, pumps, motors, equipment.
What does that mean, swimming pool, pumps, motors, equipment?
I repair them, install them.
You have a company?
Yeah, I work for...
No. You have a company.
Yes. I work for other people, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm self-employed for
What's
many
the name
people.
of your company?
Jonathan's Pool Service.
And are you a corporation?
No. Sole proprietorship.
So people pay you in cash?
No. Like management companies, things like that. I have a website, Google, 1099. Once in a while I might get paid in cash, but it's 1099 most of it.
Okay, this is your claim. He took you in as a roommate. He came up short most of the time on your rent. That's what he says. You came up short on your rent.
I don't think so.
At some point, according to you, you had a disagreement with him. You had to go to the hospital and spend 3 days in the hospital because you had an asthma attack.
Yes.
And then when you came out of the hospital, he had taken all of your stuff, put it in storage, locked you out.
Mm-hmm.
The police, according to you, told you could break into the house. Right?
Yes.
Police said you can break in through the glass door in the back.
They weren't getting into it.
No. According to you, the police told
Yes.
you to break into the house,
Yes.
is what I'm saying. That's what you
Yes.
say here. And so you broke into the house, then there was a big argument because he came home, found you in the house. What?
I called the locksmith right here, a locksmith.
Yes.
The police said they weren't getting involved. It was a civil matter.
Yes.
Do whatever I had to do. So I called the locksmith.
Yeah.
Because I was like from a hospital bed to a jail cell the same day.
Okay. When he came home, he found you in the house. There was an altercation. The police were called. He told the police that you had slapped him. You were taken to jail. You were ultimately released a couple of days later. So you're suing for a host of things, $5,000 for stolen property, for your motel bills, for punitive damages due to false arrest.
Yes.
And you
press charges because if I left her there, she might damage my property. If I were to stay there, she kept taunting me.
How was she taunting you?
That night, when the police came, she said, while you're at work, I'm having sex with all kinds of guys, and I have $30,000 in the bank, and I'm not going to pay you a dime. Ha ha.
How did you know her? Let's go back for
How'd I
one
meet her?
second. Yeah, how'd you meet her? And when?
Years ago.
Years ago, where?
Online, probably Craigslist.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Does she have her stuff back now?
I put everything in storage.
Does she have her stuff back now is my question.
I don't know. I haven't been in storage.
Is her stuff in storage?
Yes.
Great. And you haven't been there? Because
I'm locked out.
Listen to me. Try to clear your mind for a second. Have you been there?
Yes.
And you can't get in?
I can't.
Great. Well, he's going to let you in. You can take all your stuff.
No, she's lying. I saw
she
was in there.
Just a second. You're going to let her in. You just told me her stuff was in storage. You're going to let her into storage.
She
take
has
her
the
stuff. Do you understand what I'm saying
Yeah.
to you? Follow my words. I don't believe either one of you, actually. So I'm going to get rid of this view because you're both full of baloney.
No,
so listen to me very carefully. If you told me her stuff is in storage, then she's going to go and get her stuff from storage. And then the case is over. You don't have a counterclaim. He's not responsible for your motel bill.
Your Honor.
He's not responsible for your motel bill.
I can't get in storage because it's past due.
Bye.
Really?
Really?
I just excuse you and step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy, her mother-in-law stands behind her son.
She haven't filed for the divorce, and she's not. I will, as soon as I get home. I left the house due to domestic violence.
Judge Judy.
I probably would have let her stay there. She just said, hey, I don't have the money. Can you help me out?
Oh, God, I paid him rent.
But she wasn't like that. She was taunting me.
He owed me, for damaging my property, like 20 grand.
If you're a good little boy, maybe I'll pay you the rent. Hey, can you clean my toilet?
He stole my asthma inhaler.
I didn't take her medication, but...
Well, he was hoping I would die.
I'll admit I was hoping at one point that she would.